Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Wednesday, May 14th. It is schedule release day, and we previewed the schedule release yesterday. So if you want more talk about that right now, go check that video out. Previewed the entire schedule pretty in depth. Didn't get like too intricate in terms of the specific details of each matchup and how I think those games could be won or lost for the Jaguars. We'll do that more after the schedule is released, but you can go check that out. We will have a schedule release video. We'll have schedule release coverage later on today whenever the full schedule is announced. And obviously the NFL and these teams, digital media departments, social media departments do a tremendous job with the schedule release. It's a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to see what the Jaguars have cooked up this year. Cannot wait to see it. It's going to be awesome. They do an amazing job with it. But right now, we're going to talk about something that's not quite as fun. Because, we did the Jaguars ceiling the other day, and I do think the ceiling for this team is a division title and a playoff win. You never know what could happen in the playoffs after that, but that's my realistic view of where I think this team could get to this year. Division championship, division title, hosting a home playoff game, winning that game. I have a hard time seeing them being able to get past, obviously who knows what can happen. Anything can happen in this league. You never know. But I have a hard time seeing them thread the needle to get past the top of the AFC teams, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills. But you never know. But that was my realistic ceiling for the Jaguars, is division title, playoff win, and I think that would be an unbelievable start to this new regime, building the culture here. But now's the time to look at the floor, unfortunately. I think when you start looking at what could the Jaguars' floor be in 2025, it obviously, there's so many different factors that go into winning and losing football games, but it obviously starts with Trevor Lawrence. It starts with your quarterback, the most important position in sports. I guess you could argue there might be something else, but definitely the most important position in football. The quarterback is vital, and I have full confidence that healthy Trevor Lawrence will play at a high level in this Liam Cohen passing offense with Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, the rest of the auxiliary pieces, right? There's no question about that in my mind. The question is, can Trevor Lawrence stay healthy? Now, he never dealt with major injuries at Clemson. Never missed time. Really stayed very healthy in 2022 and 2023 till the end. Rookie year, healthy. 2022, healthy. Battled through it a little bit in 2023, but kept playing good football until week 13, where he really got injured against the Bengals. And then in 2024, got injured a little bit earlier on and battled through it and didn't have the type of season he wanted to have, obviously. But first 2 years, very, very clean when it comes to health. Last 2 years, not so much. Trevor Lawrence got to stay healthy for this football team to be where they want to be. If Trevor Lawrence misses like a large chunk of this season, which, let's pray that doesn't happen, because you can look at any team pretty much, and if they lose their quarterback for a large chunk of the season, things aren't going to go the way they want to go. But we're trying to look at a realistic floor here. I think the realistic floor, like the worst this thing could probably go, is if that happens. And I think you could probably put the floor as low as you want if Trevor Lawrence misses a lot of time. Probably 4 to 5 wins. But I also don't think it's like, again, any team that could happen to, right? Any team, if they lose their top guy at quarterback, season ain't going the way they want. So with that out of the way, and talking about a healthy Trevor Lawrence, what are some of the other potential pitfalls of this roster? Because again, if Trevor Lawrence is healthy, there is no question in my mind. I have unquestioned confidence that Trevor Lawrence in this passing offense with Liam Cohen, Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., and again, they've got other good pieces. De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Travis Etienne, LaQuint Allen, Bashal Tutin. All these guys can contribute in the passing game. Tank Bigsby, love him. I don't know how much he's going to contribute in the passing game, right? But I have a lot of confidence in that passing attack. What could go wrong? Free agent starters on the interior of the offensive line have been kind of stopgap guys throughout their career. And so has Eric Murray at safety. If those players do not play at least a average starting level, if they're below that, that could be a major issue. There's multiple aspects of obviously interior offensive line and safety play. But I would say interior offensive line, they're really expecting those guys to be tone setters with Patrick McCary and Robert Hainsey. Physical, straining, through the whistle type of guys. As long as they do that, I think they'll be in pretty good shape because they'll bring an attitude to that offensive line that was probably missing a little bit last year. Really as much due to the coaching as the personnel. And then safety, Eric Murray, he's been like a replacement level starter. Made a lot of plays for the Texans last year. And I'm not saying I don't believe in these guys at all. I think if Eric Murray plays the way he did for the Texans last year, they're in good shape there. I think if Patrick McCary plays his best football and Robert Hainsey plays his best football, they're in good shape. But it is possible that those don't pan out. How about, it's possible that Travis Hunter does struggle to play both sides. And I would hope if it's kind of teetering and it just feels like unbalanced and difficult, that they would just say, all right, we need to rein it in. We need to focus on offense. That's what I would hope. But then if you have to do that, and look, I'm not doubting Travis Hunter. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to play both sides. I think he's going to do it really well. But from an objective standpoint, looking at what could happen, is it possible that Travis Hunter, trying to do something that no one's ever really done, at least not in the modern era of football, struggles a little bit as a young player to do that, making the jump from Colorado to the NFL? Yeah, it's possible. I would hope that if it feels like he's just getting bogged down and it's too much mentally, physically, whatever it may be, that they just focus on offense. But if that does happen, then you're talking about maybe not the most ideal outside corner situation, with Jarian Jones having played a lot more nickel last year, Jordan Lewis playing a lot more nickel throughout his career. So I think that's possible. It's also possible, though, if that happens, that Jarian just goes and balls out on the outside. I could definitely see that. But we're talking about, different possibilities, different outcomes. How about if the interior of the defensive line doesn't take that step and they're not stout enough? I think Devon Hamilton has the ability to be very stout. I think Mason Smith has the ability to be very stout. Jordan Jefferson. But right now, it looks like their two starters would be Mason Smith and Eric Armstead. And it would probably be different in specific situations. Like if you're just talking about stuff in the run, maybe it's Devon and Mason out there. Maybe it's Devon and Jordan Jefferson. I don't know how they would play it out. But if that defensive line interior doesn't take a step forward, like my expectation is that Eric Armstead moves back inside where he should have been playing last year and plays very good. My expectation is that Mason Smith picks up where he left off last year and continues to improve the consistency and plays like a bat out of hell at times. That Devon Hamilton, in a year where it's not technically a contract year, but it is a year where if he doesn't play up to the level that he can, the Jaguars are probably going to move on, and then, he has to find a new job. So in a way, Devon should be looking at this as a contract year, at least a very big year. So I believe in the interior of the defensive line, but it's possible that those steps do not get taken by that group. Another one, I believe in Anthony Campanile. But is it possible that he has a lot of ups and downs as a defensive coordinator in his first year? Maybe. I've never seen him call a defense at the NFL level. It's a lot that goes into it. How about in-game management by a first-year head coach, Liam Cohen? What happens if... I don't think he will, but, Doug Peterson was pretty horrible at in-game management, making decisions based on the way his team performs. He was horrible. What if in-game management by Liam Cohen is up and down, rocky? There's situations he's never been in as an NFL head coach, right? I think if a bunch of those types of things that we just talked about stack up, you're looking at 6 to 7 wins. And again, I've bucketed this in two different ways. It's like with a healthy quarterback, without a healthy quarterback. Without a healthy quarterback, again, you could put the floor as low as you want. With a healthy quarterback, I would say, and a bunch of those issues we just talked about happening, I would say 6 to 7 wins. I don't think a lot of those issues are going to pop up. I think they're really building this in the right direction. And again, I have unquestioned confidence in Trevor Lawrence having a really good year in this passing game with the pieces around him. I have unquestioned confidence in the edge guys, Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, Boye Oluokun. I have the utmost confidence in him playing well at linebacker. Healthy Tyson Campbell, I have a lot of confidence in. And that's one thing we didn't talk about. If there's other injuries throughout the roster. And Tyson Campbell's had injuries throughout his career. So that's something you could factor in as well for like the floor. But if Tyson Campbell's on the field healthy, I have a lot of confidence in him. I have a ton of confidence in Jordan Lewis, and Jarian Jones, and Heath Farwell, and these specialists. Logan Cook, goated. Ross Matisic, goated. Cam Little, he's young, but he had a hell of a year last year. Kicker is a very volatile position, but I have the belief in his talent level and confidence level and preparation level that he's going to continue to stack good seasons. And a lot of talented dudes in terms of just like core 4 special teams. A lot of guys. Some of which might not make the roster this year, but the guys replacing them on the roster are guys that are good on special teams. Like, is it possible that Daniel Thomas or Antonio Johnson don't make the team this year? Yeah, but who's going to be kicking them off the team? Rayon Lane, elite special teamer. So yeah, I think that 6 to 7 wins if a bunch of the things we talked about go wrong. But again, my expectation as of right now, before we've actually seen the full schedule release, we do know the home and away opponents. We know the Jaguars are hosting the Rams in Wembley in week 7. My prediction as of right now is 9-8, and that's not the ceiling or the floor. But it's 9-8 as of right now. We'll see how this schedule kind of plays out later on today and come up with more early predictions based on how that turns out. But I've got them at 9-8. I've got their ceiling probably around 12 wins, division title, home playoff win. Floor, With a healthy Trevor, 6 to 7 wins if a lot of those other things go wrong. I don't see that happening, though. I think they're going to be somewhere in between the ceiling and the floor. And the schedule is tough, man. I know that it's supposed to be easy, but you play in the AFC West and the NFC West, those are two really good divisions. I know you should be able to win games in your own division. You should be able to win some games against the Panthers and the Jets and teams like that, right? But playing the AFC West and the NFC West is tough. And that's like half your schedule right there. So we'll see how it plays out. But I've got them at 9 wins right now. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know your prediction and then the ceiling and the floor. Drop it in the comment section below. Really appreciate y'all tuning in, supporting this channel. Means the world to me. Excited to get this schedule and be able to chat with y'all about that later on today. Y'all have a good one.